Hey everyone, welcome to the stream. How's it going, everyone? I'm incredibly happy. Check it out. Rollo is alive. You like it? I figured I'd stream today on the special occasion that I got Rollo's illustration. And I love it. Big thanks to Endookium from Instagram, Blue Sky, and other socials for drawing him. As soon as I saw him open for commissions, I jumped at the chance. And now here's Rollo. So shoutouts to him. After he emailed me the image of Rollo, I got to work on making his biography. So we have one screen of Rollo showing him some describing himself, his age, his height, where he's from, his hobbies, likes and dislikes. And in the other page is a description of Rollo. So, before we get into the game, I want to take the time to talk about Rollo and be more in-depth with Guardian Tales. And while I'm talking about all this stuff, I'm also open for Q&A. So if you have any questions, just say so in the chat if you're watching live, and I will answer them. I'm not gonna answer every question. I'm gonna avoid whatever questions is asking for like spoilers or some other sensitive topics. So for now, I'm just gonna talk about Rollo here. So this is Rollo Osouf. That's how you say his last name. He's 22 years old, a college graduate.
Oh, whoa, what's this?
Sounds like someone loves Rollo. Yeah, he's 5 foot 10 inches, 177 centimeters. He's a tall boy. Yeah, I like to imagine the anthro wolves of the animal lands being pretty tall. He's a timber wolf. That's the kind of wolf he is. They are usually gray or timber colored. They are canines with long bushy tails that are often black tipped, except Rollo, since he's a blue boy. But the color can vary from solid white to brown or black. Gray wolves look somewhat like a large German Shepherd. That's part of the reason why Rollo is pretty tall and with a good amount of muscle mass. He does enjoy swimming, and he's good about exercise, so that's why he's in good shape. He loves hiking, he loves swordplay, and he's into strategy games, like card games or any kind of game really that involves strategy. The thing about Rollo is that he's pretty smart. It's not to say that he's perfect, he's still growing and learning, but he's really good at strategizing. He's good about staying calm and thinking. He's good at adapting, which is why he's taking the situations happening around him so well. You guys are probably wondering, why a wolf? Why not a leopard? Well, I actually thought of... I was actually planning to write this story since 2014. And back then, I had a love for wolves, not odd felines. So, while I was young and imaginative, I was writing some silly stories about Rollo being this cool wolf who can fight with a sword and protecting other animals from evil. And, excuse me, and I was holding on to, and I wanted to hold on to Rollo so I can someday, actually write these stories about him. Hey Bowser, thank you for the head pats. Welcome to the stream. We're just chatting right now and holding a Q&A if you have any questions about Rollo or about Guardian Tales. Anyway, since 2014 to 2017, I think, I've had all these ideas and I've been holding on to them just in case I ever had the time and the energy to commit it to writing stories about Rollo and all these other characters I've had in mind. But circumstances and life prevent enemy from being able to commit to it. I won't go into details, but I feel lucky that I've reached a point in my life where I'm able to put my energy into writing my book and creating these characters like Rollo and Nathan and everyone else that I've written so far for my book. Anyway, before I digress, we're still talking about Rollo. So, the thing about Rollo being working for a shipping company, that idea stuck. What I didn't depict in the book, though, is that Rollo has a polar bear partner a few years older than him. This polar bear is Rollo's partner, and he was the driver while Rollo rode with him and helped him with deliveries. Rollo did not get promoted to driving his own van until I guess a year or two later. During Rollo's first week of working in the shipping company, he and his partner encountered bandits, and they were threatening to vandalize the van and hurt them if they didn't give up all the packages. That's when Rollo worked up the courage to grab an oriental sword that he was in charge of delivering to to Osamu Yamamoto before they became teacher and student, and fought the bandits. Even though he was inexperienced with fighting, he was able to hold his own, thanks to him staying in shape with swimming and exercise. He definitely surprised the bandits and his partner, and managed to scare them off. Anyway, before I digress, we're still talking about Rollo. So, the thing about Rollo being working for a shipping company, that idea stuck. What I didn't depict in the book, though, is that Rollo has a polar bear partner a few years older than him. He was the driver while Rollo rode with him and helped him with deliveries. Rollo did not get promoted to driving his own van until I guess a year or two later. I gotta write a prologue story of Rollo someday, depicting him in his younger days. Sadly, I lost it though. I actually did write a prologue story of Rollo, but I lost it. But I did give you the gist of Rollo's past and how he was inspired to uh, use a sword. Now let's move on to his interests. So Rollo likes his family and friends. He definitely holds family and friendship dearly to him. He likes his teacher, Osamu Yamamoto. He highly respects him ever since they trained together for the past 4 years. Obviously, he likes Jasmine. I've been hinting that the two will have feelings for each other, and it's been pretty fun. I like depicting that it's obvious that they like each other, but they're taking it slow, staying friends, and supporting each other. They were almost ready to confess their feelings for each other, but then Jasmine got the news that she's arranged to be married to Luther Wally. So that definitely made things awkward. But they still hold their friendship highly. And Jasmine, hopefully she works up the courage to say no to her family and Luther so she can be free to choose to marry for love. Anyway, Rollo loves the water. He loves swimming, he loves fishing, he loves scuba diving, he loves riding boats. I can't headcanon that Rollo got a major in marine biology. I just haven't found an appropriate time to bring that up. But I would like to. And to fit in with his theme of loving water, his favorite food is seafood. I don't have the particulars on what seafood he likes. Maybe I'll think of something right now. I have a good amount of options. Whitefish, flounder, salmon, herring, catfish, cod, etc. Yeah, seafood is pretty great. Oh wait, I just realized I don't have Spotify active on this source. I better add that real quick. There we go. Oops. Let's move on. So, yeah, Rollo loves seafood. And lastly, he is into swords. Like, he likes, looking at swords, collecting them. The sword he holds right now is actually a gift given to him by Osamu. You can tell it belonged to Osamu in the past because of the Japanese kanji for water right there in the middle. It's another way of showing how much Rollo loves the water. Swords, wink, wink, wink. Bonk. I wish I had a sound redeem for bonk. You know what? I can just do this instead. I just got on Discord real quick and played the bonk sound. Anyway, now onto Rollo's dislikes. Oppression. He definitely hates oppression and anthros that try to enslave others to do their bidding. As for his reasons, okay, his reasons for this is the 4 years during his college years that he actually witnessed many bandits in the nation of Washington and Oregon raiding others to steal their loot, taking anthros and forcing them to do labor. So Rollo jumps in and fights the bandits to save whoever is in danger. A common trope with main protagonists of stories is that they have that they used to live an ordinary life, and then suddenly the fate of the world is thrown at them, and they have no say in the matter, which can result in various reactions, mostly frustration and not wanting to do it. But Rollo's different, and he has a good heart, and he isn't afraid to help others in need. And instead of throwing the weight of the world in his shoulders so suddenly, I gave it build up, and I had Rollo experience how do I describe it? Turmoil and unfortunate circumstances slowly. Like, it starts with his sister getting kidnapped, and then he sees the shadows, then Osamu gets attacked, and then he learns the situation with the elemental crystals. So he gets informed. He slowly learns what's happening around him, and he adapts, helping in any way he can. That's why he does small tasks to help the mercenaries, instead of at first fighting the bandit leaders. And the times he did face the bandit leaders, he had no choice. It was a fight for survival. Later, however, when he and his allies have grown stronger and recovered the elemental crystal cores, or the core crystals as we refer to them, he gains more confidence and feels capable of fighting the bandit leaders head on. And he'll definitely give it his all against people with brazen attitudes. That's a, for anyone wondering, brazen is the adjective of someone who's bold and without shame. So he definitely sees brazen people as someone he would, someone he would never get along with. Now on to more comical dislikes, to give Rollo a little bit of a comedic side, so he isn't all serious all the time. He hates thunder. Like, the sound of thunder sends a chill up his spine, and it kinda easily startles him. Not to the point of him jumping and screaming, but letting out a grunt and making his face grimace. Like, boom, thunder, and then he goes, "Ugh." I figured that adds a fun, oh, what's the word? Never mind. I figured that that's a fitting thing for Rollo to dislike, since he loves the water so much. Alright, lastly, he dislikes garlic. Like, having a canine sense of smell, he's really good at picking up smells. And strong smells like garlic, he really dislikes it. Which is why he never has garlic in his food. That doesn't mean that he hates eating garlic. Heck, if there's like garlic seasoning and it's not too potent, he'll eat it. Anyway, that's the first part of Rollo's biography. What do you think? Alright, let's switch over to the next bio. Now here's the description of Rollo that I want to put in for him if I ever get around to making my own website. I'll read it out loud. Born and raised in Port Angeles, Rollo lived a comfortable and ordinary life with his parents and little sister. One day, he encountered bandits doing work and decides to train in swordplay for self-defense. Fast forward 4 years later, and he learns that the West Continent is suffering oppression from powerful bandits who've destroyed the elemental crystals and took their magic from themselves. Wow, that's a run-on sentence. Maybe I should change that. Not only that, but his teacher is suffering after being attacked by supernatural monsters called shadows. With sword in hand and allies by his side, Rollo goes on a journey to slay the shadows and revive the crystals to stabilize the land's magical energy. That's Rollo's bio. You know what? I should talk about my reason for the way Rollo is designed and what inspired me. So, I wanted Rollo to have a kind of dark shade of blue for his fur coat. And I like when there's also a lighter shade of color on his arms and chest and stomach. And I also really like whenever a character wears a shirt and some of their chest is exposed. Which is especially for the furrier Anzo characters, it's it's so they can some of their chest fluff is exposed. And I low-key really like chest fluff on characters. So you'll often see many of the male characters with their chest fluff exposed. Rollo's eyes, his eye color, uh, I was debating if I wanted it to be brown or maybe a dark green, but then I settled for brown. And when Endo finished the illustration of Rollo, he said that he looks really good with brown eyes, and he also really likes red eyes on a blue character. It makes for a good contrast, he said, and I 100% agreed when he showed me a red eye variant of Rollo. I was addressing a message, sorry. So yeah, Rollo has brown eyes, and now he has a variant with red eyes. I would like to use the red eye variant for something in the future. Now, as for his clothes, he's wearing a leather vest, and his shoulders has some padding. This, you could say, is a classic look for a warrior archetype character, and I agree. And that's because I love this style for a warrior character. He also has the belts I really like. One for holding his pouch and another for holding the scabbard that holds his swords. The leather gloves, that was a bit tough for me to design. I want them to have some details so they look well designed to protect Willow's hands, but I did not want to do a complicated design, so I kept it simple, and Endo did a great job designing the leather gloves. I also really appreciate that he kept his paws looking wolf-like with the long nails. Maybe someday, if I have an actual character ref sheet of Rollo, I can sew his paw pads. Cause you gotta have paw pads on an Enzo character, you know? The pants? They have a sturdy material, and they're flexible, so Rollo still has some good leg room to do back flips, front flips, spin kicks when he needs to push an enemy off of him. I wondered if I should give him like knee pads, but I couldn't think of a good design for the knee pads. Maybe someday, when I hire an artist to illustrate the characters for the book, I'll give him knee pads. By the way, I did tell Endo about how I'm writing a book and the characters I'm asking artists to illustrate is for the story. I promised him, we made a deal, and he said I can use the artwork to show people Guardian Tales and character bios, but I'm not to use his artwork for the book. So I'm gonna I'm gonna keep my promise and not use these illustrations of Rollo for the book. Hopefully someday I make good money so I can hire an illustrator to design the characters for the book. Maybe someday. Anyway, back to Rollo's design. The leather boots, yeah, they're very simple in design. But it's okay. I like the way Endo drew them. They have the belt to loosen them when he takes them off, and his toes are exposed. I like with Anthro characters to have their toes exposed, depending on the species. To help them climb trees and run around on all fours when the need arises. And that's my mindset when I just designed Rollo. As for my inspirations, I really wanted not only I wanted a nice balanced mix of modern and medieval design. Like, I love how characters are designed in games like Octopath Traveler, Grand Blue Fantasy, and Trials of the Cold Steel. Let me look this up before I continue. Yeah, Trials of Cold Steel. Like, I have a friend who's really into Trials, and he showed me character designs from those games, and I love them. So, those 3 game series inspired me with the design of the Anthro characters. And you're probably wondering, hey, why does your world have a mix of medieval and modern stuff? Well, that's because the Animal Ends is home to animals who gained a soul from the dragon gods and learn to behave and communicate like humans. And they still have that mindset where they love living out in the wild. So while they do construct cities and towns, and they develop technology like cell phones, laptops, computers, etc., there's still a majority of the world is still lush with nature and wildlife, and the Anthros love that, and they build villages to live out in the wild and live off the land. That's why there's a ton of farms and places where Anthros develop natural and organic medicine, food. It helps the Anthros live strong, long, healthy lives. Of course, it can't be avoided that they will need to make food by other means, like baking bread and processed foods, especially in the winter when they can't grow their crops. And it's not that I have anything against processed and junk food, but I want to be a good influence on people and portray my characters enjoying healthy, active lifestyles. that's not out to say that everyone is gonna be living that healthy lifestyle. In fact, that's another thing I want to bring up. You'll see anthros in the animal lands in various shapes and sizes. Tall ones, short ones, fat ones, skinny ones. And I'm all for body positivity, and I wanna have a variety of anthros in all shapes and sizes. In fact, most of my characters are big, muscular or big, chubby characters. It's just my preference. It also depends on the species. Like, the animals, the anthros are not actual depictions of their real life counterparts. Like, you will see rats and mice and other small critters grow 5 to 6 feet tall. But the animals, the anthros that are naturally big and tall, like leopards, wolves, elephants, they can grow up to 6 feet or 7 feet tall. So don't worry, you won't see anthros that are like 10 feet tall, like those humongous elephants. Still, it will give the animal ants a nice sense of scale. Hopefully, if I continue to get support and make good money, I can hire more artists to illustrate the characters. That way, you can see more anthros come to life. Well, I think that's everything I have to say for now about Guardian Tales and Rollo. So, does anyone in the chat have any questions before we move on to Kingdom Hearts 3? Oh, wait a minute. No questions? Okay. Alright, then, that wraps up, the just chatting part of the stream. I guess I'll switch over to Kingdom Hearts 3 now. But first, let me give out my closing. Oh, that's a bad way to say it. Let me just say goodbye to those watching this on YouTube. That does it for the the reveal of Rollo Osouf. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.